I've been working for President Trump for quite some time now, and he's a great boss, and I feel very excited about this opportunity because he has an overwhelming mandate from the American people.
And then I used to lose my voice, like asking for things. I was a little shy.
Wow.
Yeah, but then 20 years of therapy. My first stomping grounds, when I first started being a comedian, I started down there. You know, the gay audience is my best. They were great. They laughed at everything. They got it.
Why did they get
were
you?
supportive. Why did they get me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The View is on the verge of collapse. ABC executives are reportedly considering canceling the long-running talk show after explosive lawsuits, public backlash, and plummeting credibility. Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Whoopi Goldberg are allegedly facing termination as the network scrambles to salvage its reputation. The catalyst? Karoline Leavitt, Trump's youngest ever press secretary, who has shaken the media landscape to its core. From fiery confrontations to billion-dollar lawsuits, this scandal could spell the end of The View as we know it. Let's unpack how it all unraveled. Karoline Leavitt didn't just clap back at The View, she went nuclear. The 27-year-old White House press secretary filed a $1 billion defamation lawsuit against Joy Behar and ABC, claiming their remarks were not only but also damaging to her career and reputation. Behar's comment that Leavitt was hired because Trump thinks she's a 10 sparked outrage across the political spectrum.
People were saying to me it was a different show. And I said, no, it was the exact same show, but you were laughing so much you weren't listening.
Oh.
They don't pay attention as much when they're laughing because they're in the moment enjoying it.
And where's the next joke? And
right.
then, yeah.
And that could work. That works for comedy. It certainly does. But for theater, you have to move them and they have to remember it.
Now,
and by the way, I just want to brag a little that the reviews, even though I haven't read all of them, people tell me that have been excellent.
Legal analysts say this lawsuit could be one of the most significant defamation cases in recent history, as it challenges the boundaries of free speech versus harmful rhetoric in media. ABC is reportedly scrambling to contain the fallout, but sources suggest this case could cost them far more than just money. It could cost them their flagship daytime show. Joy Behar has never been one to shy away from controversy, but this time she may have gone too far. Her comment, reducing Karoline Leavitt's qualifications to her appearance, Trump thinks she's a 10, was widely condemned as hypocritical and sexist. Critics were quick to point out that Behar, a self-proclaimed feminist, undermined her own principles by tearing down another woman based on looks rather than merit. Social media exploded with backlash, accusing Behar of perpetuating double standards against conservative women. Even some of The View's most loyal fans expressed disappointment, with many calling for her resignation.
That's where your mom's father lived.
What?
Your grandfather, Vincenzo, was born at number 8.
What?
Got
They
to
were
go.
living across the street?
The families were living across the street from each other. I mean, just across the street.
I mean, it's almost incestuous what we're talking about.
This wasn't just a misstep, it was a PR disaster that has left ABC reeling. Whoopi Goldberg didn't help matters when she launched into a heated defense of wokeness during The View. She argued that without wokeness, women like Karoline wouldn't even have opportunities in male-dominated fields like politics. While her remarks were intended to highlight progress, critics accused her of deflecting from Joy Behar's controversial comments and using identity politics as a shield. Goldberg's impassioned rant only added fuel to the fire, leaving viewers divided over whether she was defending progress or dodging accountability for her co-host's actions. The backlash against Goldberg further deepened the crisis facing The View. Karoline Leavitt didn't hold back in responding to The View. In a now viral video, she accused the show's hosts of being out of touch with reality and hostile towards strong conservative women. The View doesn't want strong women. They want women who follow their script, she said boldly. Her remarks resonated with millions.
When a woman is powerful, she's less likable
Right.
to people. But a man who's powerful is likable. It's fine. So it's very hard for women because we really would like to be likable.
Right.
We're not out there to make people hate us. And I think that as comedians, it is a very tricky thing because you want to be likable on stage, but you also have to be edgy and bitchy and,
Right.
and take shots at people and all the good stuff that makes people laugh.
Right.
And so it's a little bit difficult. So that in that sense, I thought that she made a very good point.
How do you keep it fresh? I mean, there's a lot of pressure. You got to be tuned in every day.
Yeah.
How do you keep it fresh?
Well, I think that the concept of the show is inherently fresh because every day it's about what's in the newspapers.
But I mean for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, how do you get up every morning and deliver the goods the way you need to?
People often ask me, what kind of research do we do? But I don't need to research exactly the way you would if you were writing a theme paper.
Sparking hashtags like cancel The View, and Karoline exposed The View across social media platforms. Supporters praised her for standing up against what they saw as blatant hypocrisy and bias, while critics accused her of fueling division. Either way, Leavitt's response turned her into a viral sensation overnight. Fox News host Greg Gutfeld couldn't resist weighing in on the controversy surrounding Joy Behar's remarks. During his show, he delivered a biting quip that quickly went viral. Behar calls her a 10? I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a... But it's such a typical thing from a 1.5. The joke added another layer of public humiliation for Behar and further fueled calls for her removal from The View. Gutfeld's commentary amplified the controversy, turning it into a trending topic across social media platforms and keeping the spotlight on The View's mounting troubles. The fallout from this controversy has been nothing short of catastrophic for The View. Longtime viewers expressed their disappointment in what they perceived as hypocrisy from the show's hosts, while others called for its cancellation altogether. Hashtags like Cancel The View trended on Twitter as critics accused the show of pushing one-sided narratives while silencing opposing voices. Sponsors reportedly began reconsidering their association with ABC as public trust in the program eroded further. Even fans who once defended The View admitted that this time the show may have gone too far.
Because I didn't want to scare the man. You don't scare them when you're a woman comedian and you get up there with a microphone and you're, got all that power. You don't want to scare them. There he is. See, we fool around. We carry on. He's looking at the computer and I'm giving him the horns.
But I also like how you said...
That was at the wedding.
That was at the wedding, by the way?
That's our wedding shot.
That's classic. But also how you say that how you look at each other, how you see each other.
He sees Angelina Jolie, I see Brad Pitt. And then I used to lose my voice, like asking for things. I was a little shy.
Wow.
Yeah, but then 20 years of therapy. And,
Speaking of therapy, then tell me, what is the greatest lesson that The View has given you throughout all these years, would you say?
The greatest lesson?
Yeah, the greatest lesson for yourself.
Oh my goodness. Give me an example of what a lesson might be.
Well, what has it taught you? You've been on the show for all these years. What have you learned about yourself being on the show?
And it might not recover from this scandal. Behind closed doors, ABC executives are reportedly in full panic mode as they try to navigate this escalating crisis. Sources claim emergency meetings have been held to discuss damage control strategies, including issuing public apologies or forcing one or more hosts to step down. Some insiders even suggest that canceling The View entirely is on the table, as advertisers pull out and public trust continues to plummet. With mounting pressure from both viewers and sponsors, ABC faces an uphill battle to salvage its reputation, and its flagship daytime talk show may not survive the fallout. During her first White House press conference, Karoline announced sweeping reforms aimed at holding legacy media accountable for biased reporting, a direct challenge to outlets like The View. She criticized mainstream media for spreading misinformation and vowed to introduce measures ensuring transparency in coverage of the Trump administration. Her bold stance has further polarized audiences, but also earned praise from those who feel traditional media has lost credibility in recent years. By taking on powerful platforms like The View, Leavitt has positioned herself as a trailblazer in calling out media bias, whether you agree with her or not. Critics argue that this isn't just about one controversy. The View has been losing credibility for years by alienating diverse audiences and pushing one-sided narratives.
So then Barbara saw it, and they announced it before I could announce it on The View.
Right.
So that Monday, she said to me, "You've been here so many years, you could have announced it on The View." And I said, "Well, when your book was out, you announced it on Oprah."
Yeah, she did.
And she said, "Two wrongs don't make a right." Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was Barbara. My first stomping grounds, when I first started being a comedian, I started down there. The gay audience is my best. They were great. They laughed at everything. They got it.
Why did they get
were
you?
supportive. Why did they get me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just got you.
They did.
And when you came here, tell folks, you were born and raised where?
Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
While the show has survived past scandals by leaning into its controversial reputation, this time feels different. With mounting backlash and declining ratings, many are questioning whether ABC will finally pull the plug on a program that seems more trouble than it's worth. The once iconic talk show now finds itself at a crossroads. Can it adapt and rebuild trust, or is this truly the beginning of the end? At its core, this scandal highlights deeper issues about wokeness, media accountability, and political bias in public discourse. Supporters of Karoline Leavitt see her as a trailblazer challenging outdated norms in both politics and media, while critics accuse her of fueling division with her anti-woke rhetoric. Meanwhile, The View finds itself at the center of a cultural reckoning over how media platforms shape narratives and what happens when they lose touch with their audiences. Karoline Leavitt's clash with The View has exposed cracks not just in daytime television, but also in how we engage with political discourse as a whole. Whether you see this as a win for accountability or a sign of growing polarization, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. Will ABC save The View, or is this truly the end of an era? Only time will tell.